Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time is now 7 o'clock, and we're going to start the council meeting. Well, before we start the council meeting, we have two public hearings on two ordinances that were read into the record in previous council meetings. One is going to be a public hearing on Charter Resolution number 304 concerning amending, repealing, and replacing sections pertaining to the process of appointing and removing certain non-elected officials. This is a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of the Maryland Constitution, Article 11E, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and the Havre Grace City Charter, Section 19, amending Section 17 and 18C, and repealing and replacing Section 27, generally pertaining to the process of appointing and removing certain non-elected officials. This is a public hearing on Charter Resolution 304. Excuse me. Okay, I didn't. I don't have any pre-filled out forms. Is anybody in the audience here this evening to speak on 304? Yes, sir.
Mayor,
Good
City
evening
Council.
and welcome. May we please have your name and address for the record?
My name is Kirk Smith, 840 Otsego Street, Havre, Grace, Maryland, 3.5 blocks that way.
Welcome.
I do believe that every good leader should be able to surround themselves with people like Joe Conway, Bridget, Jeff Goins, even though I've met him, Abdullah Abdi, Dr. Ritchie, Adam. But I also believe that there should be an ability to have checks and balances. This mayor is one of the best I've ever had the chance to work with on anything, speak with, and talk with on just, everything from the coffee house to his drive through towns, right, and just stopping to see where projects are. That doesn't mean that the next person is going to be as above board as Mayor Martin is. So when you're discussing this and trying to get this together, right, so that it makes sense, so we don't have, we don't have the mess that occurred last time. Just be mindful that the next person may not be as good as Mayor Martin, and try to keep that in mind. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it. We are public hearing for Charter Resolution 304. Anyone else wish to speak? Any comments from the council members? Without any further questions or comments on 304, I now close the public hearing on Ordinance 304. We will move on to public hearing on Ordinance 1201 concerning granting rights-of-way to BGE in connection with the Amtrak Railway Bridge project. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre, Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the adopted government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre Grace City Charter and the City Code 177-5 and 177-6 to grant certain rights-of-way to BGE in connection with the Amtrak Railway Bridge project and for adjustments to annual utility pole and conduit fees. Is there anyone here this evening to speak on Ordinance 1201? Sir. Oh, if you're both together, yes, by all means, come up. Yes, sure, no problem. Good evening, welcome. Can we have your name and address for the record?
Yes, good evening. I'm Jen Riegel. I actually don't live in town. I'm with Amtrak, so here to support that resolution. So I just wanted to come and say thank you for considering it. I know it's a BGE relocation, and Kevin here is going to explain it a little bit better. But we are having that as part of our pre-early works for the Susquehanna River Bridge replacement, and is definitely a big piece of it that we need in order to get the work done so that we can bring in all the major equipment and all the mobilization for the main bridge work. So just wanted to say that is the preface for it, and then hand it over to Kevin Pode, who is one of our designers, who can explain exactly what the work is going to be.
Okay.
Thanks again for having us.
Welcome.
Kevin Pode, work with Amtrak, again, not in town, based in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Amtrak has been coordinating with BGE and with the city as well on various utility relocations across town and on the other side of the river. Like Jen said, these BGE relocations are to support the replacement of the bridge, to kind of clear the path for equipment and personnel to build the bridge. Currently, BGE's facilities run overhead along Otsego Street and down Pearl Street and down Water Street. This work will relocate much of that underground, specifically along Water Street, and get it out from overhead of Otsego Street. That'll clear the path for safe vehicle operation during construction. That's the gist of it. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. Thank you again.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
No, just, so you drove quite a ways to get here. I understand there was some traffic out there on 95 too, so appreciate you coming down here. And so we got the courtesy map here as well, so we know who to reach out to should we have questions. So thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Councilmember Boger. Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. We are still on a public hearing for ordinance 1201. Is anybody else in the audience wish to speak? Yes, sir. Good evening and welcome to the meeting. Can we please have your name and address for the record?
Good evening. My name's Gary Bowers. I represent BGE Real Estate.
Welcome.
216 Forest, Rachel Circle, Forest Hill. Thank you. Like Amtrak just explained, is this work is a result of what they're building for the bridge. And so we are going to be relocating overhead pole lines to underground. The easement that's before you is basically allowing for us to go underground on Water Street between 647 and 649. So we're going to be coming out of the road, going onto those properties, going to a pole, and so it's really just for that underground. So I understand there were some questions in regards to the language in the agreement, so I wanted to be able to answer any questions if needed.
Yes.
Wouldn't you also say that this would make the streetscape look nicer too, by removing all the lines, by putting them underground?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I would imagine yes, but I don't know that answer. I just found out about this morning at 11.
We were originally given this very intimidating diagram, and now that it's highlighted, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
But, you know, just in my mind's eye, just thinking of what it would look like without the power lines going through there, just would be aesthetically more pleasing, but just a
I would
question.
agree. But I don't remember all the ins and outs, but I believe there are some poles that are being removed.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Sure.
Just one, thanks, Mayor. So we have businesses that are down, located down there. Of course, there's another avenue in order to get to them as well. But most people are used to coming in from that one particular route, coming, there by the bridge. What's the, is there a time frame where there'll be traffic disruption, like a couple of days or something like that? Or, because that's, I think, really important to the business owners, what type of traffic disruption that's going to cause.
I'm sorry. I don't know that answer. I could find out for you. But I would imagine our typical standard is we would close down that section, and then I believe it's being drilled. So it would be one place where they're going to launch from, and then they'll steer it to its end location.
Okay.
So I don't think we're going to be shutting down. I would not expect us to be shutting down the whole road, but
and we realize that obviously there will be some traffic disruption, but just for expectation management, that way the merchants have an idea of, what they might be expecting and so forth. So if something like that kind of comes to the surface, I think council would like to know that as well.
okay.
So thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Was
Thank
there
you for
any
your time.
questions on the language though? Because I remember that I thought there was a question about the language. I'm sorry.
Anybody have any further questions?
Okay. All right,
I
thank
think
you.
we're good.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
sir.
your time.
Appreciate it. We're still under ordinance 1201, public hearing. Any further questions from the audience? Any further comments from council? Okay, without any further comments from council or the audience, we'll now close public hearing on 1201, and that does it for the public hearing. And we're going to go ahead and move into our council meeting. Okay, the time is now 7:12 p.m. We now call to order a council meeting of the Havre de Grace Mayor and City Council. Oh, excuse me one second. I will call the roll. Council President?
Here.
Councilmember Boyer?
Here?
Councilmember Shenegis?
Here.
Councilmember Boker?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Here.
Councilmember Ellis?
Present.
Okay, all council members are present and accounted for. Can everyone please join me for pledge of allegiance and opening prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I could kindly ask everyone to remain standing, as it always gives me great pleasure and honor to invite Reverend Gene Proud Evangelistic Church here this evening. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being with us.
They called me out of the bullpen for you today.
That's okay, all right.
Let's pray. First, a blessing for the schools, the students, and the teachers. For the students, patience, attention, good behavior, and the knowledge that the teachers really do care about them and really do have their best interest at heart. And for the teachers, especially you, Mr. Mayor, wisdom and knowledge and patience, putting up with all the questions that they have, even when they don't seem to be the best question. But understand the question is important. And patience with all of that. And now for all of you, for the council, wisdom and knowledge, so that everything you do will allow us as citizens to have peaceable and productive lives. We ask these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Okay. Reverend Gene, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go to item 5, approval of minutes, City Council meeting minutes of August 4th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boger, seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. Is that right? Okay. Questions or comments on the City Council meeting minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve the City Council meeting minutes August 4, 2025 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Item B, City Council closed session meeting minutes of August 4, 2025. Council President. Excuse us 1 second, folks.
Jimmy, do you want this?
All right, so the meeting began at 9:16. members who voted to meet in closed session were all present. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry? Yeah, that's where I'm looking. It says see public minutes. Usually I have the sheet all in front of me. I had the paper for tonight's closed session. Sorry, thank you. All right. So, topics actually discussed. The council members discussed the outcome of the recent meeting held by the commission members whose removal was pending. The council discussed the members' response and considered options for going forward. Actions taken. Councilmember Jones moved to table scheduling a hearing date to allow the council time to adopt rules and procedures which would govern such removal proceedings. Councilmember Boyer seconded the motion. Council approved 6-0 in favor. Motion to adjourn made by Councilmember Boker, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Motion passed 6-0. Time of adjournment was 10:25 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second. Oh,
A motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Question, or all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to approve closed session meeting minutes are approved 6-0 in the affirmative.
And I apologize for that. I usually have the prepared statement ahead of time, but I only received the statement for tonight's closed session.
No problem. Okay, we have item 6, comments from citizens. This is the part of the council meeting. If you're here to speak on an agenda item, please do so. If you're here to speak on any other matter of city business, not on the agenda, now's the time to do so also. What I normally do is I will start with any citizen that pre-filled a form out ahead of time. After I read the forms, I will call on the audience at large. Just raise your hand to be recognized, and we'll call on you. So I'd like to start with Jolene Forrester. Hello, good evening, welcome. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Jolene Forrester, owner of Joe Retro, 137 North Washington in Havre, Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I wanted to express my concern about the proposal to make Pennington Avenue a one-way street. While I understand the intention, I believe keeping Pennington two-way is better for our community, our businesses, and our visitors. At Joe Retro, which is open every day, we see that 70% of our customers are first-time shoppers. That means that most people walking into our business are new to town. They depend on simple, straightforward navigation, and one-way streets create a maze effect. Visitors could get turned around, frustrated, give up before they find where they want to go, and that is the last impression we want to have of Havre, Grace. Tourism is one of our town's greatest strengths. We should be making it easier, not harder, for visitors to move through the streets, park, and discover our shops and restaurants. From a practical perspective, one-way conversion would also shift traffic into smaller side streets, adding congestion to places that are not designed for it. By keeping Pennington two-way, we maintain a good traffic flow through the town center. And for these reasons, I ask that we leave Pennington Avenue two-way. Doing so supports our businesses, welcomes first-time visitors, and helps make or keep our town easy and enjoyable to navigate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jolene. I call for Mr. John Clisavage. Good evening and welcome. Can we please have your name and address for the record, sir?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. John Clisavage, 131 North Washington, Washington Street Books. We've been there for 33 years.
Welcome.
I'm here to speak in opposition to Pennington becoming one-way for a variety of reasons. Looking over the new ordinance, one of the big proposals was that it would gain a lot of parking spaces. Right now, it is diagonally parked up and down. Tonight, I received a map showing that they currently show 46 spaces and that they're expecting it to go to 71. First off, I'd like to disagree with that. I walked this last meeting. There were 54 parking spaces available on Pennington at the time. And also, I'll show in a few minutes here why a couple of the markings that are on this map are incorrect. But my main concern is what it will do to the downtown area. Right now, the proposal is to bring it down from Union Avenue to St. John. You have built new cement areas next to Vincenti's going in the opposite direction, so you'll lose parking spaces there. You've also built outcroppings next to the Maryland House going in the opposite direction, which would also decrease parking if you change the directions too. The big thing, though, is that, and I was talking to Johnny about this, and we try to think that everybody's really smart, but our experiences are that tourists get turned around and they get lost. The generation of traffic, in my mind, is going to occur in the next years, and even now, from the park area, from the Decoy Museum, the Maritime Museum, the Boardwalk, which is exquisite. We always send everybody down there, and Harmerstown, which is expected to generate 25,000 people a month in traffic. That brings everything down Market Street down onto St. John. The problem is that with Congress being shifted to one way, if they miss it, and the only reason I think that they'll miss it is that there's nothing really there that grabs the eye that says this is the downtown area. Signage would help. I think that's going to make a major difference, but I think you're going to have a problem that people are going to go by Congress Avenue and then they're going to hit Pennington. When they see Pennington right now, they see the Seneca Cannery, they see Vincenti's, they see the whole downtown area, and they see the steeple from the Maryland House. They're drawn to it. They want to make a left-hand turn there. They do it every single day. If you make that one way, they have nowhere to go. So two things in my mind are going to happen. One, either they're going to turn onto Pennington going the wrong way, or they're going to continue down the street because they don't know anywhere else to go. And when they get to Green Street, they can't make a U-turn onto Washington Street. It is illegal to make that U-turn. You'll get a ticket, and you'll have to make the turn onto Green Street itself or continue to Franklin Street. In both cases, the streets are extremely tight. Over the summer, they had a bus get stuck there on the corner of Green trying to make it out there, and had to take 4 or 5 times that they backed up until they finally got up that street. So when you take away that main passage, and I took a picture here, I know you guys can't see it, and I apologize, but this shows you how wide Pennington is. Its big accessibility right now is that you can have trucks on it for delivery, and both directions, UPS, FedEx, food trucks, and they don't block the way. They can get their stuff delivered. If you shoot them past Pennington, they'll never make it up Green, they'll never make it up Franklin, and the tourists that get all the way down to the Legion area will get so frustrated they will forget that they want to be in Havre de Grace. So we're asking you to consider that not to do this because it'll kill the downtown area, but it'll also cause a lot of problems. If you scoot everybody down to the very end here, when this bridge construction starts, where are these people going to go? Because what you've done is you've guided them all in that direction. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. I'd call forward Ms. Carol Zimmerman. Good evening and welcome, Ms. Zimmerman. May you please have your name and address for the record?
Yes, Carol Zimmerman, 211B Seneca Way, here in Havre de Grace.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I want to comment on the City Council's ordinance concerning approving a tax credit for 1621 Clark Road that's going to be introduced later on the agenda. So I think the history of 1621 Clark Road raises red flags about the approval process for development in the city. Originally, it was part of a larger parcel with a warehouse at 1601 Clark Road, and the land was subdivided to create 1621 Clark. The new parcel of 14.29 acres of undeveloped land, much of it was wetland forest and included 31 specimen trees. Those are trees greater than 30 inches in diameter. And those trees are covered by the city's Forest Conservation Code, which is Chapter 81. Now, one might think that a plot of land with environmentally sensitive features such as this one would require careful consideration about appropriate uses, but apparently that is not the case, as the developer's proposal of a 168,000 square foot warehouse and parking was approved by the city in 2022, and the land was cleared of vegetation this year, destroying the wetlands and 3/4 of the specimen trees. So it's worth noting that as part of the approval process, the city's Forest Conservation Code requires the developer to seek a variance with justification for each of the specimen trees to be removed. In fact, 24 of the 31 specimen trees had to go to fulfill the developer's plan. The justifications submitted to the city were carbon copies of statements for each tree, and the city approved these variances with no mention of fact-finding as to the validity of the developer's justifications. Now, I mention this because that's exactly the situation that led in 2024 to the judgments against the Harford County Planning and Zoning Department in the case of the forest removal of Abington Woods. So it's a cautionary tale. And so with regard to the ordinance that you're going to hear about later on this evening about property credits, tax credits for 1621 Clark Road, it seems ironic that the council is now being asked to grant yet another favor to the developer. We as citizens would be foregoing property taxes over a 10-year period that the credits are in effect. So over that period, the warehouse developer would receive all of the government services of property owners in Havre de Grace, but receiving them at substantial discounts. Thus, the rest of the taxpayers in the city would be in effect subsidizing the benefits to the developer. So I can understand the city's eager for investment for our local economy. I'm not against that. The enterprise zones are set up to help entice investments. However, we need to also protect the environment and abide by our own laws, including the Forest Conservation Code. And for these reasons, I oppose granting tax credits to 1621 Clark Road, as I don't think it's a good investment for the city. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zimmerman. I'd like to call forward Mr. Don Mathis. Nice to see you again, Mr. Mathis.
Good to see you, Mayor Martin.
May you please have your name and address for the record, sir.
Don Mathis, 305 Tidewater Drive, Bucolic, Havre de Grace, Maryland.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks. Good to be with you all. You've all seen the handout that gentleman was kind enough to pass out about the overdose vigil that's being held on August 31st here at Tidings Park. Mr. Mayor, we're grateful that you're going to stop by and offer some opening remarks. That means a lot. I've been to many of these vigils. This is really a powerful evening. People will come and they'll talk about loved ones that they lost, and people will also come and talk about loved ones that they saved. The good news is the number of fatal overdoses is going down in Harford County and across the state, and that's because of medications like Narcan, which we'll be giving away free that night at the vigil. The bad news is that there's an increase in the overall number of overdoses which are not fatal. So the vigil that's being held here is one of 1,100 that's being held across the country. This is a big deal. Actually, it's International Overdose Day. It started in Australia like 30 years ago, but there's over 1,100 of these vigils happening in the United States between the end of August and the first week of September. County Executive Bob Castley is going to come and join with the mayor to offer some opening remarks. You're all invited. It's all free. It's very powerful, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share that with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor.
Mathis.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Okay, I have called upon all the pre-filled out forms I have, so we are now going to open the floor. Just simply raise your hand. Sir. Welcome back, Mr. Smith. Your name and address is on record. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. I come before you for the good of Havre de Grace, and to thank you, of course, because you guys jumped on DPW and everybody else so fast to help get our neighbor's property fixed up, or at least, better than what it was. But I'm also coming to you with a cautionary note, because when the health department stopped by, I had to remove 50% of my squash and pumpkin plants based on their recommendation. And I was growing these awesome pie pumpkins and these huge squash that go really good on burgers, and they dice up really well, and you can combine these two to make these awesome pies. But unfortunately, these are now decorations. So I was hoping, the south side still looks pretty good, but I think they're just going to be decorations too. I was hoping to get Miss Taryn to make some pie and share it around for the families, but I do apologize, Mayor, but we can grow pumpkins here, and as you can see, we can grow squash too. It ain't a matter of coastal plateau versus the Piedmont, right? It's just a matter of working in your garden and making sure that you're working with nature at the same time. I'd also like to say thank you, and this doesn't really apply to the city, but it kind of does at the same time. Recently, the Cassiopeia Garden and Orchard was certified as a pollinator garden. That's another pollinator garden, as I was saying earlier, 3.5 blocks away from City Hall. Our next step is to go for the Baywise certification. If you haven't heard of it, contact your local master gardeners. They're at the farmer's market pretty much every Saturday morning. So this is more for the good of Havre de Grace. Oh, and there was a lot of mushrooms at that 1621 property too. Not that I know personally, but there's more mushrooms out there. It's kind of sad, Mayor, in one way, but they are pretty pumpkins.
Yeah.
That's it. If you guys have any questions, you're all my friends on Facebook, and I'll be glad to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, sir. Good evening and welcome. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Herbert Truslow, Strawberry Lane. I'm sorry I've missed a lot of council meetings. I've been working.
Welcome.
Just got back from South Carolina on a well-deserved vacation, and I'm thinking about probably moving down there in probably another year or two, because I'm in the process of buying a nice 3-bedroom house down there for $800. That's how much my girlfriend parents pay for their house. I'm not here to affiliate with myself with anybody, but it's a darn shame that you guys closed down the State Theater. But a lot of my friends went there to see a lot of concerts, and they are very disappointed and everything. And I want to agree with everybody else. I don't know, I'm not affiliated with anybody, but doing that one-way street on Pennington, that's going to cause a lot of accidents. And the one thing, if the DPW guy or you guys can do, if you guys can do a study on George Street and put another, like a stop sign up there, because many times I would walk in and pick her up, cars just speed down there. When you're walking across the crosswalk, they just speed right there, and me and her nearly got hit there, and I don't want to see nobody get hurt or anything walking on Gerard Street. And if you guys can put some more lights up in Havre de Grace, I would really appreciate it. And when I walk to work at night, the way I walk, there's hardly any lights you can see, and I'm afraid if I go to work one day, I'm going to get mugged or something like that. If you guys can do like a traffic study with the stop signs, I would really appreciate it.
Thank you. Please raise your hand and be recognized. Sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name
Good
is
evening.
George Wagner. I live at 408 or 410 North Union Avenue, at Bahuka's Antique Mall.
Welcome,
I'm
Mr.
here
Wagner.
tonight to just talk about the one-way on Pennington. It is absolutely not going to bring no more parking. There are 678 parking spots from the bridge to Congress, from Union to the water. Signage is what needs to be put up to direct people to this parking stuff. I have personally done this and counted all of them. I don't know how many more, when Congress gets one-way parking at Angle, how many that'll add. But my calculations, you lost 24 on Washington Street by doing the parking the way we did. You're only going to add 7 more on the 300 block of Congress. I don't know how many because it's not the exact same as the other side. Yes, I have done this calculation, it's exactly the same. So I don't know what the Angle parking amount will be for that, but it would be ridiculous. Pennington is the widest street we have. If you put straight-in parking, vehicles like mine, I have a Chevy extended cab long bed coming out. It's like going into a parking lot of Home Depot or Weiss. Backing out with my truck is hard to do if it was straight in. At Angle, you got plenty of parking. No accidents will be happening. You could do it the other way. A lot of accidents could happen in the future. That's all I want to say. But there are 678 parking spots, and I know there has never been a parking problem in the city. Sorry, John. But it's just, it's a convenience parking problem. But taking one Pennington and making it one way would be the most ridiculous thing you could ever do. Thank you.
Thank you. We're still on item 6, public comment from citizens. If you're here to speak on an agenda item or any other matter of city business, please raise your hand and be recognized. Any comments from the council?
I just got one. So has there been a voice from the Chamber of Commerce or the Merchants Group or Economic Development or what used to be the Alliance? Has there been any other voices in regards to the traffic on Pennington? I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean, I haven't heard anything from the chamber in regards. So. No, I just want to kind of put that out there as food for thought. If there's, has there been a unified voice that's represented, the three merchants who are speaking tonight?
I run the merchant group in Havre de Grace. I saw no comments that wanted it to be one way when it was brought up. And I thought originally the intent was to add parking, but I can see that that's not going to happen. And with Congress going one way already, and the points that John brought up, it really is going to limit where people can turn and make it a little more difficult. And we wish we had more locals that shop downtown, but the truth is, a lot of times it's their first time to town.
And the memo is, it's, oh, okay, so you signed the memo as the owner of the shop, not so much as the merchant.
Yeah, I can only speak from the comments that were on the merchant page, that there weren't any positive reasons to do it, and only negative comments.
I appreciate that. Mayor, thank you.
Sure, no problem. Any other questions or comments from council? Okay. We're going to move forward. Yes?
Since we were asked a question into the audience, can we answer it?
Were you asking a question to the audience, or was it what?
No, I was addressing council.
Oh, he was addressing council. Thank you. We're going to go to item 7, appointments. This evening, we have a youth commission appointment. Councilmember Ellis.
Yes, I would like to move to appoint Donna Burke to the Youth Commission.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Ellis, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. This is for the appointment of Donna Burke to the Youth Commission. Questions or comments?
I've seen Donna all around town, and she's helped with a ton of events that I've been a part of, and more recently she helped with the Youth Commission Refuel for School event, and I think she'll be a great addition to the team.
Thank you, Councilmember Ellis. Any other questions or comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The appointment of Ms. Donna Burke to the Havre de Grace Youth Commission is approved unanimously, 6-year in the affirmative. Congratulations. We're going to go to item number 8. Oh, and by the way, Ms. Burke, can you wave your hand real quick? Say hi to everybody in the audience. Just, sorry. Thank you. For some reason, I thought we were going to swear you in, but there's some commissions we swear you in, like the planning commissions, like other ones we don't, but I just wanted to recognize you real quick and say thank you very much for being willing to serve on our youth commission. I know they just had an amazing weekend this past weekend with the Refuel for School, but anyway, you're going to be part of that great team. We thank you. You have a great resume, great background working with people, so we're here to help you. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Mayor, can we get her a flag?
What's that?
Can we get her a flag?
We have no flags.
Oh,
We're ordering flags.
when we get a new order, can we get her a flag?
Well, okay, so here's the story on the flags. Normally when people join a commission, I love to hand out flags. I love to hand out flags to anybody, but flags used to be inexpensive, and maybe $25 a flag. You know, the city would just absorb the cost and buy them in bulk every couple of years, but for some reason, the cost of flags are more than $75 a piece now. And so we are looking for a completely new company to make them for us and bring the price back down to what the flags used to be. So,
They used to be made by Haxel here in town, and then they went out of business.
yeah, so like I say, I mean, I just think that's a lot of money for any flag.
Screen print nylon flag.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, so it's not like the city's gotten cheap. We're just trying to like not, be more prudent about it. So anyone who gets sworn in who did not get a flag, I promise you, when we get flags, just hit me up and I'll give you plenty of flags. So that's the story on the flags. So a lot of people said, I thought you give flags to people on commissions. Like, yeah, we do. I didn't want to sound too cheap. But then once they start, so we have a few left in storage, but they go to like city parks when our flags start getting ripped up. So pretty soon we should be getting some more flags, and I think we found a place to order them a little bit cheaper. So anyway, that's the story on the flags.
I'm sorry.
So, all right. I mean, I just couldn't spend $75 a flag. I mean, okay. Okay, thank you. Item number 8, recognitions, we have none. Proclamations this evening, we have no proclamations. That takes us to presentations, and we have 2 presentations this evening. The first one's going to be the workers' compensation presentation. I call for Mr. Brent Slutsky. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm Brent Slutsky with Wilson Oliver Agency. We're celebrating our 150th year in Harford County and proud to be part of Havre de Grace over on the Tidewater building on 203 Market Street. We're here today to recognize all the good hard work from Havre de Grace. It is not common that we get to give out a big check, and today we do. Your staff, your police chief, and it goes back to Teresa Walter when she was here, but Jonathan Crass and your public works, Joe Conway. We just wanted to thank you guys, Chris Ritchie, everyone here that supports the mayor and everyone that's built this support safety at the city of Havre de Grace. And because of that, we have a dividend check from Chesapeake Employers, who has been working with Havre de Grace for a number of years as well, of $73,497. So
I was going to say, that's a lot of flags right there. I mean, I think that solved our flag problem. So, Council President,
could we have the council members and the mayor?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get up there, Brent, please. I'm George Johnson. We're your workers' comp carrier. Thank you all very much. Thank you. George Johnson. George Jim retired. Nice to meet you. Matthew. Thank you, Jim. Everybody smile bright. Let's all go to the casino. We'll flip it around. There you go. Brent, get in there. Make sure we've got no light too high. We're good. We're good. Give me one more tall person right here. There we go. Perfect. There we go. What do you think?
Well, I feel tall.
Perfect.
That was like 500 on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No blinking. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I think all three in a great policy. Chris, thanks. Thank you.
We're going to go to the bank and try to cash it tomorrow. Let's see what happens.
Okay, all right. That's very nice. Very, very good. Good job to the staff and all your hard work. So that's a good job. All right. Here I am, poor mouth in the city, like we wouldn't have any money to buy flags and all, so let me get that. So I'm just like, I'm embarrassed. Okay. All right. So now I'd like to call forward, well, the next presentation is going to be by a group called the Canton Kayak Club. And I'd like to call forward Ray Skur. Did I say your name right? Yeah, President and Catherine Collins, Member Advocate. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Ray Skur, President of the Canton Kayak Club. My address is 3400 Hickory Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you. Catherine?
Welcome.
My name is Catherine Collins. I'm a Havre County resident living in Bel Air.
Welcome.
So we're here to request your consideration of use of Hotchkiss Park for our shared kayak program. And so I'd like to go to the next slide, if you would.
You can use the clicker right in front of you.
Oh, clicker. Thank you. Try that. Thank you. Main thing that brought us here is that, you know, Havre de Grace is a historic town, but more importantly is that it has a comprehensive plan in terms of vision of where it wants to go. And in that plan, it includes this idea of a sustainable community with greenway connections and a focus on multimodal options. In that, it breaks it down into residents in terms of this water access, and in terms of also in terms of the tourism, bringing in more people in to get use of the waterfront, and then finally in terms of this intermodal options that you've got built into your plan. We recognize quickly that Canton Kayak Club could be a good fit here. So with that, I want to give a little bit of background on Canton Kayak Club. And our goal is to increase access to the water and providing a seasonal shared kayak program from multiple waterfront locations. This includes up and down central Maryland, from Annapolis all the way up to Delta, PA. And that the main reason is we take away a lot of the challenges with access to the water. Members often don't have, you know, a kayak or a car to transport it or a place to store it. We remove all that by having kayaks down by the water that people can just readily go down and access. And the idea is that they would have seasonal membership so they can get down there regularly and get out practicing kayaking regularly. In addition, all new members go through training. And so with that, it ensures that people are safe and have a common set of rules to go by. And they have much more of a risk awareness about what the challenges are with kayaking. This is a rare thing these days. Most people go out kayaking and have never had any training in kayaking at all. So with that, let me continue on. Our organization, we've been a nonprofit since 2002, so we've been around for quite a while, actually. Our membership is seasonal, so right now we're over 700 members. Most of them are based in Baltimore City, but about 1/3 are outside of Baltimore City. We have 10 dock locations, so all the way from Chesapeake Harbor down in Annapolis, Edgewater, Downs Park in Pasadena, Curtis Bay, Baltimore Peninsula, Fells Point, Hard Yacht Cafe in Dundalk, Delta PA in Cold Cabin Lane, and then Muddy Run Campground. And we keep going through and identifying new locations with this footprint and building out in between. And Havre Grace came up with that. In the process, we offer trainings. We offer over 30 trainings a year. Each week we offer it from mid-April through mid-September. We start off with so many new members that we offer 3 trainings a week, and then after a month it goes down to 2, and after that it goes down to 1. With that, we also include socials. The main thing is to build up the local paddling community with this process by getting people together, getting to know each other. We offer online forum for members to interact with each other. They can decide whether they want to go out together for this. It built out a much stronger community because of this and a safer way to get out in the water. So with that, I'd like Catherine to come and speak a little bit about her experience with the Canton Kayak Club.
So I've been a member for about 4 years, and it's really changed my experience of living in Harford County. I've been here for over 40 years, but I've never really done anything on the water because I just couldn't afford to do it. I don't have a boat or a kayak. It's expensive to have it and just store it, and then just transporting it for me is just really difficult. So this has been really a wonderful thing for me to be able to be out on the water. And I know some of the people in Harford County, we would love to have a site in Harford County. Right now I have to go up to Delta, Pennsylvania, and it's beautiful up there, but I'd like to have something closer and for the people that live in this area to use also. So I have a daughter that lives here, I have a son in Perryville, and we'd love to get out on the water here. It would be wonderful. But it's just been an incredible thing to experience being on the water and the wildlife and the community too. It's just fantastic, the people that are in this club. So it's made a really big difference in my life for being able to get out and not, and be on the water instead of on the land. I hike a lot, but it's just incredible, and we have such great access here. So I'm hoping that that this works out for everybody. I think it's going to be a great thing for the people that are currently in the club, and I think we're going to get a lot of people in the area that are going to want to take advantage of this. So.
We have a proposed location within Hotchkiss Park. Right now it's in the parking lot in the very far corner. It's where the drain is. We realize that there's flooding involved. Our goal here is to have the kayaks located as close to the water as possible so that people, when they carry the kayaks, it's as short as reach as possible. We happen to use an unstaffed model, which means all of our members have to take care of their own process of getting it down there. That means they can come in couples, that's easy enough to carry it down, but if they're one by one, we'd have to provide ways like wheels to bring them down. And so the farther is the way the water is, the less likely they are to use it. Our goal is to have something make it easy to get back and forth, if you will, and as quickly as possible with that. So we're proposing this, and we don't know if this is the right thing, but we have looked at the various parks in the area. This was suggested by the Maritime Committee, I think it was, you said, Marine Committee that suggested this park. And so we went there and met with the director of the youth sailing program, talked to him about it, about the sharing use of it. He didn't see any problems with it, didn't have concerns with it. And we felt that this might be a good fit. We realized that there is the farmer's market there as well, and that the youth program operates during the week. Most of our members are probably going to come out on, from Baltimore to here, and it'll encourage tourism. They'll go out kayaking for a few hours, come back, most likely eat here, most likely go shop downtown. And so there's a lot of advantages to have a destination, if you will, for kayaking. The club functions that every time we have a new location, we promote that location. And so it creates this direct advertising effect. The main thing I want you to take away from it, though, is that we don't inundate any one location with too many people. What happens is a few trickle down each time. The largest things we have are when events happen, we coordinate a paddle pal where all the kayaks would go out at the same time. So it really comes down to the number of kayaks we're talking about in this location, defining how many people would be down here at one time. And right now we're saying it would be somewhere between 8 and 12 on this rack. So it could be a metal rack, like a trailer, or it could be a wooden rack, but it would sit stationary in that parking lot, and they would know where to find it. We would put it on our website to give them directions to it. We include it in our welcome email. And then we recruit as well from here to find new members who are residents here to build up a local paddling community. And finally, to give you some sense of what the docks look like, on the left we have the Fells Point dock that was put in last year. It's an easy dock, if you will, similar to the dock you have down at Hodgkins Park. But it's our largest dock, and then we do training from there. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Holtwood in the Muddy Run campground. It's a very small footprint on a trailer of 6 kayaks. It functions because it's the farthest away. It takes the longest to get there. So it balances it out. And this location would be somewhere in the middle. So with that, I'd like to take questions.
Any questions?
Just a quick question. Those kayaks are there for an extended period of time, unobserved. How do you maintain security of them?
They're secured with U-bolts that are attached to the kayak with a cabling system and a combination lock. Members have to release it and then lock it back up.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Yes.
So I'm a big kayaker. I have an Equinox GTS. I would probably go out with you guys, but I probably wouldn't be kayaking with you. So do you allow that when you have your things?
When a location is co-located with a public access point, certainly we can allow that. There's no problem with that. We have locations that are sometimes private that we cannot allow the public to come in and launch from, but as long as we're co-located with a public access point, we're okay with that.
Right. So there's already a lot of kayak groups that function in this area. There's Pirates of the North.
Yes.
That kayak out of here a lot. Just to let you guys know, just last Saturday, not this most recent Saturday, but the past Saturday, a large group of people from Annapolis came up, and we departed from basically David Craig Park and went down to see the lotus flowers down at the Oakenden Peninsula. It's like it's a good 10-mile kayak there. But they loved it. They stayed late at Coakley's. I saw their kayaks out way late into the evening. So there's definitely a lot of interest there. The one question I did have on your setup, are people responsible to bring their own paddles and their own
No,
location?
we provide all the gear, the life jackets, the paddles, the kayaks, the way to lock it up, the dock box.
Is there a
to
box
secure it.
that's attached to the,
We'd have a dock box to secure life jackets
Okay.
and paddles. So
now, do you all provide then, I saw the Fells Point.
Yes.
Do you
I'll go back to that.
finance that?
Go ahead.
Who financed that dock? Was it your
Paid
club
for it.
or was it the city?
We paid for it.
The whole thing? Okay,
Yes.
including the entry?
The gateway, the gangway.
No, not the gangway, the launch. The easy launch.
Oh, the easy dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came with it. That was part of the project.
Would that be something in the future that you would, because the current state
Yes.
of the dock down there is a little rough.
Sure.
It does need some assistance to bring it up to.
We would certainly consider it. It really comes down to demand for the location, and if we decided to make it into a training location, certainly we would have to put more investment into it.
Okay.
A training location is designed in the case of the Fells Point, it's a training location because there's 18 kayaks there. It's got wide space to it. We can have a dozen people down the dock all doing things with kayaks at the same time and launching at the same
There's
time.
probably not a lot of boat traffic going in and around.
And it is, well, it's across the way from a water taxi stand, but the water taxis don't cross it. So it has an isolated little area that has little traffic to it.
Okay.
By design.
Trucking. Okay.
So just to comment on your thoughts, you're speaking of the Chesapeake Paddlers Association who came with the piracies, and we have a partnership with them as well.
Okay.
So many of our members, not many of them, but a number of them get to a point where they're become from intermediate paddlers to the next level, and they want to get their own kayak and they want to take it their own places. And that's usually changes to a meetup kind of approach where the Chesapeake Paddlers Association does this. We encourage that. We want people to start off recreational kayaking where they're just paddling maybe 1 or 2 miles at a time. They might get out further and further and eventually get out 10 miles at a time. And so when they get to that point, they start saying, oh, I'd rather, hang with other groups, if you will, whether it be the Water's Edge or the Chesapeake Paddlers Association.
10 miles in one of those smaller ones is not easy.
Oh, no, it would be too hard on the, you'd need a
Right.
sea kayak for
Yeah.
it, is the whole thing, and that'd be a longer kayak.
Right.
That's all.
Thank
But
you.
yes, we certainly want to promote it. So the goal of the club is to take someone who's truly a novice and give them a way onto the water. That's where it starts. Without that transition, they don't make it. They might buy, if they try to make the transition, they buy a, low-cost kayak. They find it very uncomfortable. They have it hard to use. They just stop using it and they stop going. If they find something's more comfortable and they have a chance to try out different kayaks, they're more likely to stay with it and continue on. Our real goal is to build a local paddling community, and the way to do it is take people who are not necessarily, who are motivated by kayaking but don't really know how to get on the water and don't feel necessarily safe at first. Give them the training, give them the time on the water, get them out with groups, get them familiar with the water area, and then they get more confidence. Give them rescue training, which is a separate offer that we do for a couple months of the year. And then they're more likely to get out regularly by themselves or take other people out and get to a point where they could lead other groups. Because our groups outings are really based on volunteers that decide to take out groups. Other questions?
No, the only thing I would see eventually is we'll probably have people locally who ask for the ability to store their kayaks down in the same area, but we already have kayak storage down at the yacht basin. So, thank you.
I received that kind of question as well. People often ask, can we pay to store our kayaks in your rack? But it defeats the purpose of the club. The club is really designed about sharing kayaks. It really reduces the footprint of it and actually maximizes use of kayaks. There's a lot of advantages to just sharing these resources. You see that as bike shares, scooter shares, car shares, but you've never heard of a kayak share. I'll tell you that this is why we're a truly unique organization. When I look at any other kayak club, it's really about buy your own kayak and do a meetup, and not about let's just share our kayaks together. So we are unique.
Tracking.
Council President?
All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you. What was I going to say? Oh, a couple things. First off, you don't have to worry about the farmer's market. We moved it over here.
Okay.
So it won't be in the way. But I think this is a great idea. I love Muddy Run Campground. It's a great place for it. Holtwood Dam
It's a
is
wonderful
wonderful.
place.
If you guys ever, it's just up the road in Coreyville. If you guys have a chance to go up there, it's an awesome
Highly
place to
recommend
camp.
going up there for camping.
My wife just camped up there with her scout troop, and the girls went canoeing. They saw the rental, and her specific question, she just texted me because she's watching at home. Hi, Mom. That she wants to know how much the fee is for
That's
your.
fine. I'm happy to tell you. So new members start off with $180 for 6 months of access, unlimited access, daylight access to use our kayaks from 10 locations. It includes training, so it's all bundled together. There's no other cost behind that. After that, it goes down to $150 as returning members. There's no need to train after that. We only have you train once as long as you stay a member. If you have a gap or 2 or more seasons, we would ask you to retake the training without cost.
Outstanding. Thank you so much.
So, you're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Well, thank you for coming in today. I thank you for your presentation and for answering the council's questions.
And thank you for your public service. I know it's not easy being a public servant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item 11 on this evening's agenda, resolutions. This evening, we have no resolutions. Item 12, ordinances. We have a couple ordinances this evening, and we're going to options. We're going to start with ordinance 1196. Councilmember Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce ordinance 1196 concerning amending Chapter 2, adequate public facilities, in the second reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Boyer. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1196 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1196 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. It's an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend City Code Chapter 2, adequate public facilities. Council, do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1196 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? We'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis,
Yes.
Councilmember Booker,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis,
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1196 is adopted on second reading. Item B, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, Council, citizens all, I move to introduce ordinance number 1197 concerning amending Chapter 25 and adding new Article 16, Havre Housing Authority, for second reading and adoption.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1197 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1197 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution. The local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend sections of Chapter 25 boards, committees, and commissions by adding a new Article 16 pertaining to the Havre de Grace Housing Authority. Council, I have a motion to adopt 1197 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the Council President, second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Council President?
This is a requirement given to us by Department of Housing and Urban Development. We have a list online of all the members that were chosen by the mayor on revolving terms. One, what was it, 5 years, 4, 3, 2, and 1 year. Ms. Carrie Parsons, who just left, is on that list. But I think it's a good idea to pass this bill and just move on.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote on 1197. Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
Councilmember Boger.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
A roll call vote of 6-0 in affirmative. Ordinance 1197 is adopted. Item C, Councilmember Jones.
Yes, Mayor. I move to introduce ordinance number 1198 concerning amending Chapter 151 signs in the second reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones to introduce ordinance 1198 on second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Shenegis. Questions or comments on introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce 1198 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend Chapter 151 signs. Council, I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1198 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Shenegis. Questions or comments on ordinance 1198? Council President?
I was the one that originally sponsored the sign ordinance that we have now, about 6 years ago? And there were some things in there that it was contentious at the time. I apologize. We had to work on a lot. We had work sessions, several of them. But I think this is one thing that is definitely a benefit to the businesses along Route 40, and we can look at other things in town about maybe easing our restriction on electronic signs at another time. But I think this is a smart way to go for business growth on Route 40.
Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Boyer?
I like to speak in opposition to that statement. I don't think this is really necessary, this having a 20-foot sign versus what we currently have. What we have now is a commercial strip that splits our city in two, that is haphazard at best, where we have not focused any thoughtful planning on how to use it as a way to bring our community together. And one of the ways that was discussed at the time was focusing on signs saying that if we had signs at a lower, more reasonable level, it would be more like a community versus a highway. Now, I recognize that Route 40 is a highway. However, it splits our community, and by making them smaller size that are lower down, it creates a small, like a more calmer sense of community. And that was one of the reasons why we purposely, and it was part of the debate, had the signage at a lower level. I will be voting, I recognize I'll probably be the only one voting against it, but this is why I'm voting against it. We put it into effect. I recognize that it would be a lot easier for Wawa, but you know, I'm pretty sure, Jimmy, if you drove by a Wawa, you'd be able to recognize a Wawa. I don't think it's necessary. I think it can be, the same can be done with a 10-foot sign or smaller, quite frankly, than a 20-foot sign as they're driving through our community. And personally, something that'll also help is if we can make Route 40 not a 65, 70 mile per hour, you know, see how fast you can get through it. If we could slow people down throughout our city so that you take time to actually read the signs, because when you're going that fast, you can't read what's on the sign in the first place. So I'm going to be voting against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyer, for sharing your concerns with separating the communities. I want to say that the new recently approved sign of Gavinelle's kind of brings us together.
Pre-existing.
Yes, pre-existing, absolutely.
Grandfathered in.
And grandfathered in. However, this sign does, because of the angle of Chapel Hill coming down into Ontario and the bay side of the 40 of the community, you can see that new business coming into our town, and it gives them a welcome. Basically, it welcomes people to let them know that they're here, and they opened this week, and you know, I think people are pleased with the recognition that it's, you know, kind of bringing the two communities together, not split. So I like the sign that is existing right now, and I don't know how the new communities that come in with Wawa's, potentially Popeyes, how they could, you know, better connect our communities. I think it's nice that we're going to get some things like Wawa's and Popeyes so we don't have to leave town. So I think it's nice that we can, you know, be able to be a part of our own community to eat and enjoy some of the things that are going on. So that's my insight into the new sign ordinance.
Thank you very much, Councilor Shenangus. Any other questions or comments? Ordinance 1198, concerning amending Chapter 151 signs. What's that? Adam. Oh, did you have anything, Adam? Not at this time. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. We're going to do, without any further question or comment, we're going to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Boker?
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yeah, no. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Put you down as a no.
That's a maybe.
Put you down as not attending. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Councilmember Shenangus?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 5 in the affirmative, 1 against, City Council Ordinance 1198 is adopted on second reading. Item D, ordinance number 1199 on second reading. Councilmember Jones again.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce ordinance number 1199 concerning amending Chapter 169, stormwater management, in second reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones to introduce ordinance 1190 on second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Shenangus. Questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce 1199 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to amend City Code Chapter 169, Stormwater Management. Council, do I have a motion to adopt 1199 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Boker, seconded by Council President. Questions or comments? Roll call vote on 1199. Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Snegus?
Yes.
Councilmember Boker?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1199 is adopted on second reading. And we're going to go to item E, our last second reader of the evening, and that's going to be ordinance 1200. And once again, back to Councilmember Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to introduce ordinance number 1200 concerning approving capital cost recovery-free credits in exchange for capital improvement to Graceview Tower in the second reading.
Second?
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Jones, seconded by Councilmember Snegus. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1200 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce ordinance 1200 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1200 is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to approve capital cost recovery-free credits in exchange for capital improvements to Graceview Tower. Council, to have a motion to adopt 1200 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boker and seconded by the Council President. Questions or comments? Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Snegus?
Yes.
Councilmember Boker?
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1200 is approved by council on second reading. Item F, Councilmember Boyer.
Mayor, I move to introduce an ordinance concerning approving the tax credit for 1621 Clark Road.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading. Questions or comments on the introduction of this ordinance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce an ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as ordinance 1203-1203. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government of the local government of the article of the annotated code of Maryland, sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to approve real property tax credits against the real property tax imposed on the eligible assessment for SRE Maryland Hartford 1621 LLC, 1343 Ashton Road, Suite B, Hanover, Maryland, 21076, real property in the enterprise zone located at 1621 Clark Road, Havre de Grace, Maryland, 21078. Council to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1203 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Boyer, second by the Council President. Questions or comments on this ordinance, Council President?
So we can have a disagreement about signs, whatever else, but people always say that, Havre de Grace is hard to do business with, and I couldn't agree less, because we specifically worked with the county to develop, under Maryland Code, this enterprise zone program to bring businesses into town, to bring jobs into town for the citizens of Havre de Grace. And this new business, they qualify for this program, the existing program under the city. So I'm voting yes on this.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments?
And,
Councilman Booker.
and thank you for that, CP, I appreciate it. So I just don't see the bang for the buck here. First of all, this enterprise zone, I get it, it's a Maryland state thing, right? So we piggyback off of that. Line number 39 actually says so that we can permit certain benefits to be extended to businesses that locate or expand in the enterprise zone, provided that they meet certain standards and certain criteria. However, unlike Ordinance 1200, we give a little bit and then we get a little bit, right? So over here in 1200, we're talking about capital costs recovery, free credits in exchange for capital improvements to Graceview Tower, right? So that's government in the works, in Johnny's opinion, right? However, ordinance, this ordinance here, it just doesn't, I've not seen the enterprise zone and what all that it, could encompass as far as what we could extend to the business. And it seems like that's pretty egregious that we're, the first 5 years, taxable years, following the calendar year, which I'm going to assume is 1 January, right? 80% reduction for the first 5 taxable years. That's 5 years, 80% tax reduction, right? I'm not in agreement with that. And then 70% the 6 years, and then 60 the 7th, and so forth, until you get to the 10th taxable year, whereas we only levy 30% tax, on them. So I'm not in favor of this. I do understand that we do need to bring some jobs into Havre de Grace. I'm all about that. There's no doubt. It seems like that we're leaning forward way too far, and we haven't even discussed some of the forestry has already been removed in this particular area. The same area, right? So, and then this kind of opens up the aperture a little bit for more of that, right? So that's my comments.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer?
So I have information that was provided to me by Bridget about this property. Again, it is at 1621 Clark Road. It's next to Acer Exhibits. It's in our industrial park area. Our industrial park area is a very small footprint within the city. It is the only place where certain businesses can be established or can do business based off of what they do, based off of our permitting, et cetera. The expected completion date is April 2026. It's new construction of 168,000 square feet warehouse. It's currently on speculation. There is no signed tenant at this date. There is a lot of interest in it. The estimated creation of 20 or more full-time jobs with 10 part-time jobs once the property is leased. The tax credit is for a total of 10 years for the new building. At year 11, they pay 100% of their real property tax bill. The other side note is once this is passed at the municipal level, then it goes on to the county council via a resolution. And in the audience this evening, we have Ms. Karen Holt, who's also a Havre de Grace resident, who is the Director of Economic Development for Harford County. If anybody has any additional questions, I'm sure Karen would be able to step forward and answer any questions about it. This is, we have a very, again, small footprint for where these tax credits are available, and this business is simply trying to take advantage of that tax credit availability in order to get this business, this warehouse built within our industrial zone. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Can you step to the microphone
Go ahead.
and introduce yourself first?
Karen Holt, Director of Harford County Economic Development. Good evening, everyone. It is a state program, and it's administered by the county, and when the property falls within a municipality, it is a partnership through 2 approval processes. The tax credit, which is a sliding scale, so 80% for the first 5 years, and then 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, but it is on the difference of the assessed value. So I just want to give context. It isn't like they are tax-free for a very long time. What it does mean is the SDAT will come out and assess the property. So if we go through the approval process this fall, it goes to the state in December. Next spring, when they do assessments, they will look at the improved assessed value of that property, land, and facility based on what it was before they built. So in this case, a complete new building on a parcel of land. And what that would be worth, the assessment is based on if it was something else. So a lot of times a company comes in and puts a lot of money and invests into a lot of equipment. That is not part of the assessed value. It's what would that building be worth if that company was no longer here, and Harford County, the city of Havre, has this facility. What is its assessed value for any other entity that would assume that building? So I just want to give context that it isn't like a very, anything is a large amount when it's not coming in as revenue, but I just want to give context for what it means to give them that break. The intent behind the program was to allow them to stand up, to invest in a workforce. I believe they were talking about as many as 30 jobs, but it really is to kind of get them their leg up in a community. And what we have seen from this, and many times before they have completed their 10 years of a tax break, they have expanded in our community as well.
Thank you for that, Ms. Holt. I appreciate it. So we don't know what we don't know. So we don't know what 80% of whatever is going to be.
Right. We
Right.
know that between the land and between the property and the facility, it's about a $22.6 million investment. That's what they're putting into it. But what SDAT comes in and assesses that value, we will not know until next spring.
And I'm not interested in their revenue. I'm interested in Havre Grace, and I'm interested in 14 acres. Tax assessed on 14 acres, which is how much?
The land, they're showing 3.7.
3.7.
I can't speak to the assessment. That was acquisition.
Okay. 1,000? Million?
Million.
I'm sorry?
Million.
Million, okay. 80% of that would be unacceptable. I'm just, we're just spitballing here, right? But
No, she's not saying they spent $3.7 million in taxes. She said they bought the property for $3.7 million.
Assessed, right.
Assessed value, so you don't pay 100% taxes every year in your assessed value.
Right. Well, no, I get it. It still doesn't fit right with my mind, but I do appreciate the explanation. So it's kind of what I do for a living too, so I appreciate it. So, thank you.
Anybody have any other questions for Mrs. Holt? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking.
Council, we're still under the question for ordinance 1203. Any further questions or comments? Okay, this is going to be for a first reading and adoption on this. We're going to do a roll call vote. Council President Ringsacher?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shenagus?
Yes.
Councilmember Boker?
No.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
By a roll call vote of 5-1, 5 in the affirmative, 1 against, ordinance 1203 is adopted on first reading. And Council President,
Tuesday.
Public hearing, Tuesday, September 2nd?
Yep.
At the next council meeting. Public hearing will be at the next council meeting at 7:00 p.m.
And which will be a Tuesday because of the holiday.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to item G on
Just a
ordinances.
clarification real quick so that everybody knows. So, Karen, the process is that once we approve it after the final, then you can take it to county council. It's not done concurrently, correct? Okay, thank you.
Good. Item G, Councilmember Shenanigans.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I move to introduce an ordinance concerning approving a lease agreement for the use of a portion of Hutchins Memorial Park by Canton Kayak Club in the first reading.
Council, I have a motion to introduce an ordinance made by Councilmember Shenanigans. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce this ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Ordinance 1204-1204, an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 and 76 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to approve a lease agreement for use of a portion of Frank Hutchins Memorial Park by Canton Kayak Club. Council, to have a motion to adopt ordinance 1204 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Booker. Questions or comments, Council President?
Mr. Mayor, if I could ask the city attorney, Ms. Ishak, do we worry about any pending litigation and usage of the park with this ordinance?
Under the prior court ruling, we could use the park for things that did not have amplified sound and/or blockage of the driveway of the house there. So as long as we don't block the driveway and we don't have amplified sound, we can use the park. But also, the prior ruling of the court was partially remanded back to the circuit court for Hertford County. So depending on whether or not the other litigants ask for rehearing or if there's another potential appeal up to the Supreme Court of Maryland, we don't know what's happening with that. So it can go one of 2 or 3 directions. But right now, this lease would not interfere with our current ability to use the park.
Outstanding. Thank you so much.
Any further questions or comments? Councilmember Shenanigans.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to say that this program lends its way to welcoming new boaters to the community that are reluctant to necessarily try kayaking. Maybe they don't have a means of transporting or necessarily can afford to buy one. They can rent one and be a part of a community and learn new skills. It's also beneficial in respect to the fact that this club would be mindful of knowing that events going on in our community may have to put the kayaking on hold, and they will communicate that to their members. So, for instance, with the youth sailing club, that's a very, very wonderful club, and there's times of days when, they're very busy, 9 to 3, but they're not always on the dock. So just being mindful of that and, informing their club members, I know that it would be a win-win situation for everyone that wants to get out there on the water. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenanigans. Any other further questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer.
I just have one question. Do we have a resident agent who would be a spokesperson or like the point of contact here within Havre de Grace? Or would that person be in Baltimore? Like, how's that going to work?
I do not know the answer to that question. I'm not sure where their agents are located.
So like if there's something happen, and we need to call somebody right away, we have to wait for you to come travel 40 minutes up the road to come see us?
That's correct. Our resident agent is in Hunt Valley, Maryland.
Hunt Valley?
Yes. It's our treasurer. So,
It's an hour drive.
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Any further questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on Ordinance 1204 on first reading. Councilmember Boyer,
Yes.
Councilmember Shenanigans,
Yes.
Councilmember Booker,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1204 is adopted on first reading, and we will have the public hearing at the next council meeting, which is Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 13, old business. We have a ordinance at the last council meeting that received a number, 1202, but it did not receive a second for first reading and adoption. So we have a weird situation where we have an ordinance with a number but was not voted down. So by request from a council member to put it back on the agenda, it's back on the agenda. Is there a motion to reintroduce ordinance 1202?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move to reintroduce ordinance number 1202 concerning approving a change in the traffic pattern on Pennington Avenue for first reading, so we can actually talk about it.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president, seconded by, actually, you know what? Yeah, I don't need a motion to reintroduce. I just need a motion to adopt, because it's already been introduced. So let's change that. We're just going to do motion to adopt 1202 by council president, second by Councilmember Schnegas. Questions or comments? Council President?
So the way the ordinance process works, Robert's Rules of Order, is we move to introduce, and then we all agree on that, small discussion, and then we move to adopt. Now, moving to adopt doesn't mean we automatically adopt. You need a first and a second, and then we have time for discussion like this. Last time we didn't have time for discussion because we didn't have a second. I don't know how I'm going to vote on this. I want to know the information. And I've had people blow me up online about this, or people coming with questions about how this is such a horrible idea. Well, I want this to go to the Street and Traffic Safety Commission. So it's a commission, right? Not a committee? Committee. Commission. Okay, commission. So I want them to review this. Advisory board, okay. Street and Traffic Safety Advisory Board. But I want them to review this with the fire chief, who's fully recommending it. Chief of Police, get their input. But this allows us to have this discussion, which we weren't afforded the last time. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Schnegas?
Thank you, Mayor. With the fact that we did not have a chance to discuss it because we did not second it the first time, I think it is important for us to be able to look at what's going on in the community. We are rebuilding our downtown and having Congress repaved and now Pennington repaved. Looking at the direction of the traffic, it makes sense to to look at how we're going to implement the changes that we've already put in place in downtown restoration, and how we can make it safer for the community. Right now we have people driving down there doing U-turns to get that best spot. We don't necessarily have a way for people to, just like go back around and, they're not stuck. They are making a choice to do illegal turns. We want it to be safe. And I know that if we were to look at a one-way pattern, we can consider safety in two aspects. Number one, we could consider the safety of the corner of Union and Pennington, which is a four-way intersection right now with only 2 stop signs, and it is extremely unsafe for people walking across, even for cars to go out into the road, because you have to creep into the road to even see. Line of sight is blocked. So that's something to consider. And also to the consideration of people doing U-turns to get to that prime spot. I do believe that the police chief and captain think that it would be a decent idea to consider having a one-way direction in respect to more safety in return, the U-turns, etc. I know that it's definitely one thing that has to be put on discussion for the advisory committee and the community, the citizens, the business, the people that live on the street of Pennington. it's all things to consider. And definitely, what was mentioned last time by citizen comments was taking away the availability of the police division house 2 to be able, or not the police, pardon me, the fire fighters to come in and park and get to their spot. If there were to go one way, we would still have to make that available for them to have that, so they wouldn't get snagged up. Those parking spots would be there for them to be able to access the fire trucks and get out to the community. So I am glad that we're going to have an opportunity to at least discuss it and continue to look at the different angles of why it would be something to consider for our community, and also to consider that right now it's empty. There are no lines delineating any parking spaces. And when you drive down there, the community is doing exactly the same thing, parking one way and parking the other. And that's what they're used to. That's our community. But oftentimes we hear that we have to be concerned about the tourism that comes in, and they are not used to our streets. If they're coming in and getting used to a new traffic change because they're new to the community, it's, you know, it might be easier for them to understand, okay, this is how this town works. So I just want to be open-minded and listen to what the community has to say, listen to what our advisory board has to say, and I'm hoping that our council members will also give it some time and to think about it so we can carry it further into discussion. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Shenanigans. Any other further questions or comments?
You know, at first I thought about this, and I thought, you know what, maybe we should change it for like a year, kind of see how that works out, right? And I thought, well, no, you got to go back and repaint, and part of the reason why it's on here is because, you know, if we're doing Congress, we might get a deal if we're doing Congress and Pennington at the same time, right? So we might get a deal, probably not that much of a deal, right? So, but you know, we've heard from citizens, we've heard from merchants who are down there 24/7. It's kind of their livelihood. They see a lot more than I know I do. Although safety is in fact a zero defect area, and we don't cater to tourists. You know, the tourists figure it out, right? So safety is safety for all, not just tourists and not just for residents, right? So Union and Pennington is, and you're correct, Council. It's unusually unsafe because of the blind spots that are located there. It's not impossible to navigate. It takes a little more skill, a little more patience to get through there. So So I need to be clear. So this one here, the way it's worked, and so this vote is to adopt, correct?
This vote is just to adopt on first reading. We'll still
Okay.
need a public hearing, and we'll still need a second reading.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's all I have.
Any further questions or comments before a roll call vote? Before we do a roll call vote, just to give the quick history on this again, this all kind of started spending a lot of time down at the corner of Union Avenue or Pennington and Washington, and during this downtown construction project, hanging out with Patrick Seipolt and a lot of people. You can't help but just stand there and watch people do complete circles, like turnarounds, right in the intersection of Washington and Pennington. Or the three-point turnaround because they're heading down Pennington. All the parking spots on Pennington are full, but there's two on the other side, so they're trying to do a turnaround to get to that open spot. Oh, and then some whippersnapper takes that spot from them. We've all been there. Didn't really faze me a whole lot, just thinking that's just life in Havre de Grace. You know, just crazy street traffic patterns, we're all used to it. Pick a way you want to come in. You want to come in Pennington from St. John's, you want to come in from Union, pick a way. But then we found out about a month ago when we were going to pave Pennington. We paved Congress the other week and we paved Pennington. We were going to move the stripers. The company that paves is not the same company that stripes. We have a different company that comes out and they stripe the angled parking. And it's a legislative done deal now. Congress will become one way. And we'll probably pick up about 17 net gain spaces by making Congress one way from Market Street to Union. We were thinking, administration was thinking, it'd be worth a discussion before we have the stripers come out on Congress, if we could talk about Pennington, and if there was a desire to go that way, then it would be a lot cheaper to pave it, to stripe it all at once, rather than striping it two different ways and then deciding we actually do want to make it one way and having them come back. We just wanted to do it all at once. We threw the ordinance on at the last meeting kind of quickly, and the council members didn't second it because I think someone had some questions. A few council members came in over the last week. We discussed it with them. There was a couple requests to put it back on the agenda. That's why it's back on the agenda. It wasn't voted down last time, it just didn't receive a second, but it received a number. So it's kind of a weird Robert's Rules of Order thing. A couple things I just want to say from this perspective. This is not a city that likes change. I challenge anybody to live in a city who's been beaten more than I have on the changes that I brought to the city in the last 10 years. I mean, I am everyone's favorite coffee shop topic, whether you hate me or not. And everyone thinks that everything happens in the city is the mayor forcing his will onto the city's people. That's not always the case. I just like to have discussions about things. We can't ever change and do anything better if we don't have discussions. You know, I formed a committee on the possibility of, you know, what the downtown Washington Street could look like if there was some kind of closure for restaurants from time to time. All of a sudden, the thing became the mayor wants to close the streets down. Like, it's even hard to talk about things in this town with people just changing the narrative on things sometimes. All this was a discussion. Hopefully, if this ordinance got approved on first reading, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means that council says, yeah, we're going to discuss it, and we're going to send it to committee, and we're going to see if there's any good things or bad things about it, and then we'll take a final vote. And if we don't like it and it doesn't work out, a lot of citizen opposition, I don't know what's going to happen with this. But if anyone's out there thinking, man, the city is at it again, they're forcing this street on us and all this other stuff, no, we're actually trying to figure out before we stripe it with this brand new asphalt if this is something we want to do or not. That's all this is about. However, 2 weeks ago, I was 75% sure this was probably a good idea. Now I'm more like 90% sure, and I'll tell you why. One, think about it this way. Hear me out. You all have degrees, people, so you know what I'm talking about. You're on Union Avenue, you turn on to Pennington Avenue. And let's just say, for example, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to put handicap parking at the corners at Washington and Pennington. So one by the wine bar, one by the record shop, one by the visitor center, and one by the apartment building. Right now, there's currently no handicap spots in that area for any citizens with disabilities, but we have these nice sidewalks now that have these nice curb cuts. And we figured it'd be a great spot to put a place for, you know, persons with disabilities so they could access those ramps. If you're heading down Pennington Avenue going to St. John and both handicap parking spots are taken, but on the other side, going in the other direction, they're open. If you want to legally come back that way, not do an illegal U-turn, if you want to legally come back that way, you'd have to make a left on St. John's, where the cannery is, go past the stop sign at Washington and St. John's, go to Franklin Street. No, I take that back. You just can't come back down that way. You'd have to go all the way to Legion Square, where 7-Eleven is, make a left to get on Union Avenue, go back to Franklin Street, make a left down Franklin, make a right on St. John's, and that takes you legally back up that little 1 block by Vincenti's Decoys to get that handicap parking spot, if you wanted to do it without making a legal U-turn. These are just things we're thinking about. So, and also, as brought up, one of the most dangerous intersections, I get it all the time, the most dangerous crosswalk is the one across the library to the firehouse all the time. People act like no one sees you there. It must be camouflage. I mean, I know so many people that almost got hit on that. That's a tough intersection. It's a tough intersection when you're trying to dart across either way, from the library to the firehouse or the firehouse to the library. And by taking away one of those traverses, it may just make it just a little bit safer. Again, these are the things that go through the thought process in the administration. I've talked to the police department. Major Alton, police department didn't have any objections when we talked the other day.
No, sir.
Yeah, no objections.
No objections.
The fire chief didn't have any objections as long as he has his parking spots. At this point, I don't know if it's going to get 4 votes on first reading, but I just want everybody to know why it showed back up again. It did not get voted down last time. I would like to think the council would vote on it to give it a discussion. Send it to the Street Traffic Advisory Board. Our GIS person, by request of a council member, wanted a map. We got a map in our hands today, around 5 o'clock. And this is the map you see up on the screen, and this will be on our website. Now, I don't know, this is using computer software. It says by turning Pennington one way, we're going to gain 25 spaces, although I'm not sure about that. But Dr. Ritchie, what was the reasoning on why these spaces can be a little bit narrower?
So the spaces as pictured on this map are 9 feet wide. And I don't know the current width, but that is narrower than the current spaces. So if the roadway is turned to one way, it allows a vehicle to take a wider approach when they're parking their car. In essence, it allows a vehicle to move into what would be the oncoming traffic lane when they're turning into the parking spot. By providing the vehicles with a wider approach into the parking spot, you can have a narrower parking spot and still safely be able to get in there. So the one-way road provides a wider turning radius for the vehicles trying to park, and you can fit, or you don't need as wide of a parking space at that point. So because the parking spaces would be reduced to 9 feet, which I believe is the Harford County minimum width that they're allowed to be, we can fit more parking spaces in the same length of road.
Okay. Thank you very much for the explanation. That was explained to me this evening, because the original idea of making Pennington one way, I thought maybe we'd pick up 1 or 2 spots. This GIS program saying 25, I don't know. Even if we made the spots wider and we picked up 10 spaces, that's still worth the conversation. But again, if council votes to adopt on first reading, we can verify these numbers. And again, so I just wanted to give the reason behind it, because I just think it's an opportunity to discuss. As the council president said, we have an opportunity to look at something before we stripe it, before we move on it. Folks who came here to speak against it, I'm not 100% sold on it either. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying. It's like, I just hope we have a discussion about it. So I'm going to stop talking there, and we're going to go to the roll call vote on ordinance 1202. This is for first reading and adoption. Councilmember Schneges.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
No.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
No.
Councilmember Ringstocker.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
No.
By a roll call vote of 3-3, City Council Ordinance 1202 fails. Item 14, new business, special event. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, for your consideration. This evening, there is one event in front of you in your agenda packet. It is the 20th Annual Garden Mart and Secret Garden Tour and Chesapeake Festival and Green Expo. It would be May 16th and 17th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. May 16th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Actually, a little bit confused by that on the agenda packet. However, it's at Concord Point Park, Maritime Museum grounds, Lighthouse Keepers grounds. I want to look at the event application to clarify. So on day one, on the 16th, the start time for setup is 6 a.m. The event starts at 10 a.m. The event ends at 6 p.m. and then breakdown is at 7 p.m. And then day two, on the 17th, setup is at 6 a.m., event starts at 10 a.m., event ends at 5 p.m., and breakdown is 6 p.m. So on the 17th, it does end 1 hour sooner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. I have a motion to approve the event.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Boyer,
Second.
second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion to approve the 20th Annual Garden Mart and Secret Garden Tour, approved 6-0 in the affirmative. Okay, we're going to go to item 15, Director's Report, Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, citizens. I do have an update that Amtrak requested that I share with everybody. We're going to see a little bit of activity, possibly starting as early as tomorrow. But the Amtrak Susquehanna River Rail Bridge project will replace the existing 119-year-old rail bridge in northern Maryland, which spans the Susquehanna River between the city of Havre de Grace and town of Perryville. The project team still has several important tasks to complete before moving into heavy construction. One of which is the project team must ensure that historically significant buildings, objects, structures, districts, and archaeological sites are considered during bridge design and construction. Archaeologists will begin conducting advanced field investigations in Havre de Grace during the week of August 18th, and community members are invited to witness this exciting exploration. While on-site access is restricted, members of the public can view the dig, look at artifacts recovered from the site, and ask field staff questions about the findings. Stopping by to witness these field investigations is a great opportunity for individuals, families, and children to learn more about the American history that would have otherwise remained dormant. Investigations are scheduled Tuesdays through Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. This activity is anticipated to continue through October 2025, but is subject to change depending on weather and holidays. Staff will be on site near the tracks along Centennial Lane and Warren Street, answering questions during work hours. For more information about the archaeological investigations and to sign up for project updates, please visit amtraknewera.com/SRB. I do want to offer congratulations to the band Beach Creeper, who won Dr. Rocco's Battle of the Bands, and an opportunity to open for A Flock of Seagulls at the Star Center on September 25th. The Hushdown is having their album release party on September 5th at 7 p.m. at the Star Center. It is free to attend, but registration is required beforehand. Who's Bad, the ultimate Michael Jackson tribute band, is performing at the Star Center on September 6th at 8 p.m. And a big announcement regarding an upcoming concert at the Star Center. 98 Degrees. The 98 Degrees, not a cover band. Nick Lachey himself will be in Havre de Grace performing on December 4th. Mark your calendars. So tickets are going to go on sale for that event in early October. There will be VIP add-ons that include a backstage meet and greet and a champagne reception with the band, along with an invitation to sit in on their sound check. So super exciting news. December 4th, 2025, 98 Degrees at the Star Center. So you can purchase tickets and learn more about all these great events at starcentermd.com. December 4th, yes. So Ms. Bridget Johnson, the Director of Economic Development and Tourism, is on a well-deserved vacation, and she provided me with some updates that she would like me to share. So Gavinelle's opened last week, and on behalf of the Department of Economic Development and Tourism, I would like to welcome them to the city of Havre de Grace. I know their journey here took a lot longer than expected through no fault of the city's. But they opened, I believe, at a soft opening last week, and based on the online chatter, they sound to be very well received by their customers. 5 ribbon cuttings will be coming up on September 18th. All the businesses are located at the 4 points of Union Avenue and Franklin Street, and details will follow on that in the near future. The citywide yard sale is scheduled for Saturday, September 13th. If you would like to add your address to the list, please call the Visitor Center at 410-939-2100. The tourism manager, Laurie Orzowitz, was asked to be a part of the America 250 Harford County Committee, and the first meeting took place on July 18th. And then lastly, we are preparing for an amazing holly jolly season. Mark your calendars for the holiday parade on Friday, December 5th. And that concludes my comments for the evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. We're going to go to Director of Planning, Mr. Goins. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Members of council. So as you may know, the city has been working with the Harborstown Art Center over the last year or so on a very substantial HUD grant, and we just completed the environmental review certification for that, and I submitted that this afternoon, so that's the last step in the process for them to move to the next phase, which is releasing the funds, so hopefully that occurs very soon. And then in terms of our boards and commissions, we will not have a Board of Appeals hearing in September. We have no items on the agenda. And then for the Planning Commission on Thursday of this week, there are no applications, but they will be discussing their rules of procedure and hopefully adopting those. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Goins? Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Good evening, Mr. Abdi, our Director of Finance.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Good evening, as well as citizens of Havre. In terms of the financial condition, as you know, we're still going through our financial audit for fiscal 25. So I'll hold off in terms of starting the financial conditions for 26 once the financial audit is reasonably concluded, 25 audit. But in terms of the financial condition as it stands today for fiscal 25, starting with the general fund, the fund balance currently stands at $2,570,800, which is up $141,500 since my last reporting. The beginning balance has not changed and currently stands at $2,349,600. In terms of revenues, they are up $263,200. In total, currently stands at $28,920,400. On the expense side, expenditures, it is up $121,700. To date, we have total expenditures of $28,699,200. Onto the water and sewer fund, our Fund 9. The current fund balance is up since my last reporting to $326,400, which stands currently at $4,983,300. Beginning balance has not changed. It currently stands at $1,746,800. On the revenue side for the water and sewer, it is up $404,500 since my last reporting. The total currently stands at $19,026,200. In terms of the expense side, it is up since my last reporting $330,900. With current expenses standing at $15,789,700. To the last fund, our Marina Fund, the fund balance is down actually $29,300 since my last reporting, and currently stands at $945,900. Beginning balance has not changed and still is standing at $761,900. Revenues are up $1,800 since my last reporting, and it currently stands at, in total revenues, $843,400. On the expense side, it is up $31,100 since my last reporting. Again, I've said my last reporting a couple times already. Expenses to date is in total $659,400. That concludes my financial conditions for fiscal 25. Our auditor is Zelinsky Axelrod. Our external auditors will be arriving next Monday, the 25th, to start their field work. So if you do see them in our City Hall, welcome them and be sure to say hi. That concludes my comments for today. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody have any questions for our Director of Finance? Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the update. And we're going to go to our Director of DPW, Mr. Conaway. Good evening, sir.
Good, Mr. Mayor, Council, colleagues, and guests. For the next several months, Our DPW crews will be in the process of cleaning our sewer mains, cleaning our storm drain lines, and exercising water valves. They'll be very, very highly visible, and most of the maintenance work will be like in the middle of intersections. There'll be plenty of signage to let people know, so just let the residents be aware that if you come up to the crews, please drive slowly. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Conaway? Thank you. Good evening, Major Alton. How's the police department doing?
Things are good, Mayor. Thank you. Members of council as well, thank you. Just two quick things. One, we wanted to thank everyone that was able to attend the National Night Out events. We were actually able to participate in 3 different ones, 2 here in the city, and then 1 with the entire county up at the Equestrian Center. And then also just this time of year, it's our annual friendly reminder that obviously with back to school also means fall sports will be starting again over here at the football stadium, which we try to stress that please do not park in the specified no parking areas outside the stadium for those events. They're clearly there for safety reasons, as they are strategically right around the crosswalks to provide line of sight. I know Council President loves it when we bring this up every year, but again, yes, please, please, please do not park in those no parking areas. Thank you.
Joe, those were my exact comments tonight. I'm not making that up. Sports are back, don't park on my yellow curb.
Thank you, Major Alton. Any questions for the police department? Councilmember Boyer.
I know occasionally we have to repaint the yellow line. Does that need to be redone anytime soon, or, I mean, that sometimes is an excuse for people that they didn't notice because it was.
No, I mean, it's,
so faint.
so, well, to that very point, right, it's not only a yellow curb, it's clearly marked with signage as well. That particular area that I'm talking about is clearly marked. The curbs, I don't believe, need to be repainted. They were actually just done this past year, and so yeah, so just not even 2 months ago, yeah, so, yeah,
Okay.
they should be good.
Great, thank you.
Huh?
Not an excuse then, that you didn't see the paint.
Again, right there, it's yellow and it's signed. It's one of those things that, and it's got a giant crosswalk at one of them that.
It's across the street from the police department. The audacity.
That too.
The audacity.
Any more questions for Major Alton? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to go to comments from the council members, and we're going to start with Councilmember Ellis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Director, citizens. I just want to thank the city and thank everybody who was a part of the Refuel for School event this weekend. It was a great turnout. I've been a part of it for 3 or 4 years now. This year we had 800 backpacks. We were able to give out just about 700, I think, and we're going to drop the other 100 off between the schools in town. And the idea is the schools have like a resource room center for the kids that didn't attend the event that still need stuff. Everybody in town and all the businesses as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to Councilmember Jones next.
Great, thank you so much, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. One thing I do want to make a point of discussion about is my vote for the parking. And last vote, I voted no. This vote, I voted yes to have the discussion. As people mentioned, this was not a vote to actually make it happen. I had some additional questions. So I heard from residents loud and clear why they thought it was not a good idea. And I myself, it was really down to the wire for me because I had some questions as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared my thinking with folks on that. Also, this past week or so, I attended a meeting with the Maryland State Highway Administration, along with residents of Greenway Farms and with my colleagues, Councilmember Boyer and Councilmember Shanegas. Lots of lively discussion. I was glad that I was able to be part of that discussion. As we've discussed it at this meeting several times, several of us have asked questions about what's happening there. When is something going to happen? You know, we want to make sure the constituents feel safe and are taken care of. And I think that as a result of that meeting and our work, we've been able to get some things done, and you should see some change there. Also, last weekend, I wanted to send congratulations to the Havre Grace Colored School for another successful jazz festival. It was great. It seemed like there were even more people there. They did a weekend event, so that was great to bring more people to the city of Havre Grace, and I'm looking forward to that still growing each year. And then congratulations to Councilmember Ellis for a wonderful Refuel School event. I was there. I also had a table for another group that I'm a part of, and it was really great to see so many kids, lots of great and fun activity, and I think it's a great and growing event for the city of Havre Grace. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones, and we're going to go to Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for everybody for coming. I just want to, again, with everybody else, kudos to the Colored School for the Jazz Fest and for the Refuel for School. It's great to see it growing year to year. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come in the future. Maybe when we have the new skateboard park, maybe we're going to have a couple of skateboard exhibitions going on or something cool like that. I also want to thank Karen Holt for attending tonight. It's wonderful that the county comes and provides resources to help us in our decision making. I would like to ask for Amtrak to come to provide an update to the Street and Traffic Advisory Board. If we could coordinate that potentially with the chair. I think they have there's been changes based off from the last time that they came to give us an update on where they are with their project, and that'll provide information that the members of the advisory board should be aware of. And overall, that's it. I hope you all have a great great Labor Day and a great beginning to school. And please remember to be careful of the school buses, because I think that's another problem that we have at the beginning of school as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to Councilmember Shenegis.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administration, citizens in the audience, and at home. Now that the kids have their school supplies and the parents are winding down their time to spend with them, come on out this coming Wednesday and stretch yourself out doing yoga in the park at Harmerstown. It is a donation-free event. It's 5:30 to 6:30, and all proceeds go to the Harmerstown Center for helping improve and continue their programs there. Also, you don't want to miss the 37th Annual Children's Arts Festival. School will have already started, and it'll be a great time to connect with friends at Tidings Park on September 6th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Tidings Park. I wish all of the parents, teachers, and students a wonderful ending to the summer and beginning of a new school year. And I am thankful that I am a teacher, and we all head back right after Labor Day. And I look forward to hearing all the wonderful stories about families and friends and et cetera as we intermingle in the community. So I wish you all the best, and please, if you haven't gotten any supplies, make sure that you know that you can go get books over at Washington Street and get those reading books for your literature classes, et cetera. So please, and nice dresses at Joe Retro's. Be sure to make sure you look for ways to intermingle with our community. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Shenegis. Good evening, Councilmember Booker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Directors, those of us with us online and with us in the audience. First of all, I want to congratulate Miss Donna Burke, who's still with us, who's just struggling it out for the rest of the evening. Appreciate that they're volunteering for the Youth Commission. My compliments go out to Councilmember Ellis as well for seeking out that kind of talent. So, and I see you sitting there with my buddy Cat Club member right there, you know, so it's good to see you. So just real quick, I'll keep my comments short. I won't repeat what's been said. The Historic Preservation Committee that I currently sit on, they do not sit on their laurels. That is one active commission right there. As Director Goins is smiling, he's indicating that I'm absolutely correct. They're going to crack open ordinance number 1136. Again, that deals with abandoned or deteriorated properties. So we'll probably crack that open. Right now, the commission is looking at it. May come back with some proposed amendments to that, perhaps. Only time will tell. And then I'll go ahead and wrap up. Special thanks to the host company, police department, DPW, and the first responders. That's all I have, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Booker, and good evening, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, council, citizens all, just a couple things. Again, Major, thank you so much for mentioning that stuff. It is near and dear to me. I do, my son's no longer in rec football, he's in high school, so we still go back on weekends in every home game where we're usually in the booth as announcers. I really like it. He actually got a bunch of volunteer hours for scouts for it, but you know, the boys deserve to hear their names called, and they love it. And but everybody parks on my curb, I guarantee you, I tell you at least 3 times, and then I call the police because the kids have to be able to be seen from that crosswalk. And it's just, I mean, I was sitting there today behind the yellow, watching the boys practice, and I couldn't tell you how many cars actually just, I mean, it's a 25-mile-an-hour zone. And, I mean, wow, I mean, they were just zipping by. And you think about kids walking across a crosswalk with sports starting up. Just got to be careful. So I'll be really, really quick on this. Saturday, August 23rd is the first scrimmage for the Havre High School. We're at home at 10 a.m. against Northeast. And then the games are, we're away at Perryville, away at Bow Manor, at home on the 19th against Rising Sun, at home against C. Milton, at home against Edgewood, at home against Aberdeen. October 16th, away at Tech. October 24th, away at North Hartford. And Halloween, we're away at Joppa. And then it starts playoffs. But we'll see what happens with that. September 6th is the Farmers Market, which is the 30th anniversary. It's going to have a big thing out there, and the first, I think they said 60 people will show up, get a bag and everything. It's going to be really cool. And they're going to have a TV news crew there and everything, and they want us all out there. And besides that, happy Labor Day to everybody.
Thank you very much, Council President. And we're going to go to item 17, comments from the mayor. I'm going to keep my comments brief. I already spoke enough earlier. I know everybody wants to get out of here, and we have to go into a closed session. But I just want to tell you, I saw one of my favorite bands my entire life growing up as a kid at the Star Center this past Saturday night. It was a Van Halen cover band. Davy Lee Roth Van Halen, not the Van Hagar. So it was a lot of fun. They finally brought in, we were able to find a really good Van Halen band. It's a lot of good times. But I don't want to talk about the past too much, even though that was a great time. But we got a great schedule and lineup at the Star Center. As Dr. Ritchie said, we have the Michael Jackson tribute band coming on September 6th, Saturday night. They were here last year. The singer was phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And we have Flock of Seagulls coming on September 25th. It's a Thursday night to Star Center. The actual Flock of Seagulls. It's not a cover band. So, and I happen to know at least 3 of their songs. So, and I run. I know 2 other ones. But anyway, like the thing is, what I wanted to say was, a lot of people, if you've been, following the sitcom, which is a city, Havre Grace, this is like, season 4, episode 6, right? So we started 4 years ago with the Star Center, which used to be the Havre Grace High School Gymnasium Auditorium, and we're slowly building up our repertoire, and the Opera House is also part of this campus of performing arts. So, we're slowly starting to, it started with tribute bands and a lot of small acts, but now we're starting to build them up bigger and bigger, and now we're bringing in a real acts. We had Straight No Chaser about a month ago, which was a sold-out crowd, and we're bringing
Hushdown coming.
Yeah, we have Hushdown, which is
that's an original band, not even a cover.
It's not a tribute band. It's the actual Hushdown.
It's
all
the
right.
actual Hushdown.
We have Hushdown coming. We know the drummer well, don't we, Mr. Burrell back there?
Woo!
Okay. But anyway, like I said, we got 98 Degrees coming, and like I said, it's just we're slowly building up our playlist with bands. But also, this reason I want to bring it up, I want to thank the citizens of Havre de Grace, and it's a lot of folks from outside of Havre de Grace, but thank you for following the lineup and coming to support the plays and the concerts and the bands that come to the Star Center. This is, like I say, we're going to keep doing this as long as we believe this is the direction that the city of Havre de Grace, which is an arts and entertainment recognized district city, wants to do. You know, I believe all good cities have great art. They have great sculptures, great murals, great performing arts centers. And so this administration and this council believes in that direction. If we were losing money every year and it was a failed endeavor, that'd be a different story. But we continue to invest because we continue to get that support from the citizens. And so I think it's a great mark that we're now able to bring in the real bands in some cases. I mean, they might be dinosaurs from the 80s, but at least it's the real band. So it's a good start. With that said, I'm done with my comments. And Council President, I believe you need to make a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Mayor, Council, citizens all, you guys get to go home, we don't. Under the Open Meetings Act, General Provision, Article 3-305, I move to go into closed session upon adjournment of the open session on Monday, August 18th, 2025, to consider the following matter. 1, to discuss personnel matter. 2, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. 3, to consult with city staff and city attorney about pending or potential litigation. This meeting will be closed under the General Provisions, Article Sections 3-305B. 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluations of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals. 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The reason for closing this meeting is discussions concerning personnel matters are entitled to confidentiality. Consultations with the city attorney regarding advice and pending or potential litigation are entitled to confidentiality under the attorney-client privilege. The city council will not resume open session after the closed session, and votes, if any, will be recorded in public at the council's meeting on September 2nd, 2025. And that is my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Council, I have a motion by the Council President to go into closed session at the adjournment of this council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Schnegas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to go into closed session at the conclusion of this council meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. We're going to go to item number 19, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boker, second by Councilmember Jones. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn. The council meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is now 9:24. Good evening. Have a good night, everybody. And remember, we will be meeting on Tuesday, September 2nd, because Monday, September 1st is a holiday. So see you in a couple weeks.